Before I spend a lot of time making my measurements for the rear hoop and my down bars, I want to take a trip over to Detroit Speed and Engineering, who are performance masters on the first gen Camaros and Firebirds. They have a rear roll bar kit and are willing to bend my tubing for me to fit their templates, which is going to save me a ton of time. So let's jump over there and see how they bend their kits up. Hey Jay.
Hey.
How's it going, bud?
Good, bud.
Hey,
Glad
thanks for helping me out with my project.
Yeah.
Tell me about the machine. What are you going to use to do this with?
So we're going to use our production bender. It's a SOCO electric hydraulic bender. It has a mandrel in it, so it'll locate on the inside of the tubing. So when we clamp it and we bend it around to the radius, it won't crush. Okay. So it'll keep the same OD profile.
Oh, excellent. Is this like a CNC type thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a semi-CNC machine. We do all of our sway bars on it, all of our roll cages on it, all of our control arms, upper and lowers. Anything we bend here, we use this machine for it.
So, like the tubing I dropped off,
yep,
that's that high strength tubing. Mm-hmm. You have to program it for that type of material, right? It's not, because it's going to bend different than the mount steel, right?
It is, yeah. Okay. Your diameter and your wall thickness and the actual properties of each type of material will bend differently.
Okay.
So we actually did some test bends on it to actually read the spring back on it.
Okay.
So we figured all that out, so
awesome.
Today should be a little easy.
Awesome, excellent. All right, lead the way.
All right, let's go. Andy, this is our production roll cage that we sell for first gen and second gen Camaros. Mm-hmm. There's more to the kit than what's shown here, but this is basically what we're going to bend today out of your material.
Gotcha.
So our material we're using is DOM, drawn over mandrel tubing. Mm-hmm. So there's no seam in it. It's solid. We actually use 134 wall material.
Right.
It's a little thicker than some of the rule books out there, that minimum wall thickness that are required, but we like it because when we bend it, it holds the shape really good. Okay. It's also a little stronger than 120 wall.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And it's really easy to TIG weld into cars or even MIG weld into cars.
Yeah, being that it's mild steel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, one question before we move on. You mentioned welding it. You can MIG weld it, you can TIG weld it, and you also said spot welding it.
Yep.
Now, you don't plan on spot welding your roll cage in your car, do you?
No, but you can get this in sheets as well.
Okay.
And that's how automotive companies started increasing their crash ratings, is because they use it for some of the substructures of the cars.
Like the frame rails?
Yep, and you can stamp it, and you can make stampings out of it, and that's how they were easily, because it's so strong, they were able to precision roll it into a tube.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like it.
Well, let's go bend some stuff.
All right.
With this kind, we always try to keep the seam up top.
Okay.
Just in case. That way it doesn't shrink the seam or stretch the seam in any way.
Okay.
So it's just gonna make the first little bend there.
Okay.
There we go. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull it forward. Just always gonna make sure it's back here on the stop. So we should be good. So this is gonna be the big bend. So,
okay.
All right, you ready?
Roger.
There we go. Now what we're gonna do is pull it forward. Now I'm gonna push it up to the next stop. This can be out.
And this is the big bend, right?
Yeah, this is gonna be the big bend right here.
Okay.
There you go. Yep. Perfect. And you see the spring back on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You just kind of wiggle this thing off and boom, there it is.
Oh, swell.
So, it actually it bends really nice.
Oh, that's sexy there.
Oh yeah. Throw it up on the table here. Man, this thing's light compared to that mild steel. All right, Andy, we're just gonna double check our angles here to make sure all that homework we did paid off. That one is on the money. And that one is too. Man, looks like perfect. Nailed it first try.
Nice.
All right, Andy, we're gonna go ahead and bend your crossbar here.
Okay.
So, and this is a whole lot easier than that main hoop. Yeah, this is just 2 quick bends. Real easy. Got to make sure you get these bends right on though, that's for sure. All right, here we go. perfect. These have a safety switch there with that light, because if you don't hit that safety switch there, this die will crash into the chuck, which will crash into this die. I mean, it's a huge mess.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Is that a learning experience? Or?
No, thank God I haven't done it. Okay. Thank God I haven't done it. Right, there we go.
Oh, I see.
And see, it just holds it right here.
Yeah.
And then that's pressure die is going to come up.
Yeah, that could be big.
Yeah.
I could see how that would make a mess.
Because once it starts going, it won't stop. We're just going to coat this. And like I said, this thing is set to 7.5 degree coat for this car. So we're just going to kind of take bites out of this thing. And there we go. All right, Andy, since we already coped everything and got it cleaned up a bit, that way it'll slide on this mandrel. Put the indexer in the machine, that way we can locate this coat. All right, we're ready to bend. All right, Andy, we're just gonna go ahead and do the finishing trim on the main hoop here. Okay. So we're gonna use this compound angle gauge to figure out exactly where we need to trim. So it's going to give us a compound angle there to cut.
Okay, because it's not straight, it doesn't sit straight in the car, right? It leans back a little bit anyway.
Exactly. So we're just going to mark center line while we got this thing lined up here. And then we'll cut from the top and then just cut it at an angle, then grind to the bottom line.
Yeah, this is just saving all kinds of time for me, because all that stuff would have been stuff I would have had to measure and do manually, you know, so.
As you can see here, we just got a little bit to trim there.
Oh yeah.
That's why I always try to cut away. Yeah, I try to cut away to get it right on. That's why I scribe the top too. That way when you slide this thing back on, it's quick and you just go and...
Back to 0 point.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So we'll just grind that up.
Nice.
And get it set.
Well, Andy, there's our kit.
Yep.
And then there's your kit that we did for you today.
Looks great.
Duke knocked it out of the park, as always.
Yeah, no doubt.
He did his math on doing some test samples and figuring out what that spring back was. Definitely springs back more than chromoly or DOM.
Sure, it's a little stronger. I would expect that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we weighed ours. Ours weighs 48 pounds.
And ours was 32.
That's 16 pounds weight savings right there.
And considering I have probably 3 or 4 times more tubing to put in the car, I could be up around that 70-pound weight saving.
Absolutely.
This might be an option for some of your cars.
I think so.
Great.
Very impressive.
Love it.
I look forward to seeing it in the car.
Yep.
I look forward to seeing you on the track.
We'll be there. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.